Sorry about that. Little fucking technical difficulties. Dog jumped up, knocked it on my hands, and turned the fucking mic off. Apologize, but we're back. We're live. What I was talking about is it's, fucking, if you believe, you have that gut feeling and you could be doing anything. I said a relationship or, you have about a person, you meet a person and you're like, they seem all nice and everything, but you got this gut feeling that they're probably going to rip you off. You probably shouldn't trust them. And you give them money or, they seem like a good person. You loan them some money and they end up ripping you off. You're like, I knew it the whole time. I knew that was about to happen. So, it's fucking, it's wicked, how do you, it could just be intuition, it could be, you just have that feeling or you just think, but there's some times where it's like, you just know it, in your gut, in your brain that it's not good, not good, it's about to happen, and, and it happens just like you thought, and sometimes you say, "Oh man, I should have knew. I knew it the whole time. Why'd I go with it? God damn it, But what about everything happens for a reason? I'm a true believer in that, and whether that's just because of what I've been through or what I've seen, but I just always have this thought that, something happens, something bad happens, or a bunch of bad things happen. Eventually something great happens. I've seen it. It's happened to me. So I don't know exactly what that is or why that happens. It's a crazy thing. And I feel like what you do, some people would say it's karma or whatever, what you do, good or bad, will eventually affect the output. You're going to keep continuing to, if you screw people over all the time and you steal from people and you're a druggy fuck and you're not a nice person, eventually you're going to get yours. Something really terrible. You're going to die or you're going to, one way or another, you'll lose everything you have and you'll be homeless and out on the street. And some people would say, well, that's, living that kind of life, eventually that's where it leads. But I believe that that's more, it's deeper than that it's more psychology and, I believe that that's something. It's just, it's something you can't plan for either, But I think if you're a good person and and also you believe that you could be a bad person, like me, man, I was, I stole from people. I stole from my parents. I, did drugs all the time. I was fuck everybody. Fuck this person, fuck that person. Make fun of everyone, talk shit about everyone. And I feel like still, to this day, bad things are continuing to happen to me. I feel like for the most part, it's like 75-25 now, that it's like for the most part, I'm, good things are happening, positive things are occurring in my life, for the most part. I truly feel that way. But I also feel there's still negative things. Sometimes I have a bad day, and when I have a bad day, it's a real bad day. I get a flat tire. I'm late for work. Get a call, that my bills are past due, or something happens in my bank account, and it's just just one thing piles all day and snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. And it's like, and that's when I sit down sometimes and I think and I say, that's because, I laugh or something. I say, still getting, God or the universe thing's still getting even with me. I'm still paying, I'm paying for it, I'm paying for all the wrongs that I've done and all the, if you don't believe the universe has a way of correcting itself, and you're crazy, because it does. There's, people that happen every day, and but then, I play devil's advocate for a minute, and I say, what about kids with cancer, childhood cancer? They're born, they haven't done nothing wrong, they're born, they have cancer, and they die before they're 10 years old or whatever. And they're not a bad person. Why does that happen to them? So, I play devil's advocate because I truly, deep down, believe that everything happens for a reason, and karma is true, and you'll eventually, everyone will get what they deserve. It's, to me, that's a fact. I think that some people are dealt shitty hands, in life. It's terrible. There's nothing they can do. That's just how it was. They're born into poverty. They, their dad's a crackhead, or their dad left them, or their mom, that's just, their mom and dad both are dead, and they have to raise their family by themselves. And, that's the hand that they're dealt, and they can't help that. But that in no way means that they can't come out on top. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really about your mind, and how powerful your mind is, and what you believe, can happen is the truth to that. It's scary to think that it can be like that. It's but I believe that it's reality, and there's no other way to get around it. It's like I say, you live and you die. What you do between those 2 points, it makes you who you are. And you can be the biggest scumbag of the earth, and eventually you'll get what you have done. You reap what you sow. And heard a line: what you reap what you sow, you teach what you owe. And I believe that. You reap what you sow. You have to put back into society. You learn your lesson, and then it's your goal, or your mission is to, you fucked up. You're a drug addict like I was, and I screwed it up, but somehow I fixed it and got on the right path and did the right thing. And so I feel my objective or my goal or what I'm supposed to do is, people that are having a hard time, or, kids that I love back home, or friends or whatever that are still, addicted to drugs or pills. And, it's my duty to pass that down and help them. And because I got over it, and there are people that helped me get over it, so I went and helped people get over their thing and get their mind right. And it's all about getting your mind right and getting in the right place. You can be the greatest person ever, but you can be bad at shit crazy. Your mind's just not in the right place. Something happened to you that fucked you up, and you're not thinking clearly, you're not thinking logically, and I mean, just because that shit happens doesn't mean you can't fix it, you know? I don't believe everyone's broken forever. And I believe the people that deal with these kind of shit that I've dealt with and other people deal with, you deal with it. Everybody deals with shit in different ways. Everybody, divorce or, drug addictions or, loss of a family member or something. You handle things differently. Some people, and you're not going to get help unless you want to help. You want to change yourself. It's got to be in you. And I don't think that everyone has to, repay it like what I'm saying. I don't think that's for everyone. But I feel, to me, that's just how it is. I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do now, is someone that wants that help and they want to get better, and they reach out to me, or is to give them guidance and put them the right way. And that's all part of life. It's that we're a giant it's a giant cycle. Like I said, you live and you die. Someone dies, baby is born. Someone dies, baby's born. And I wouldn't be where I'm at if someone wouldn't have helped me. So, pay it forward. That's true shit, If somebody helps you out, and so they'll say, I don't want nothing in return, just help somebody else out. So you help somebody else out. It shouldn't be for money or for anything else. You should just be a good person and want to help, and continue, people to get better and get smarter and get nicer and be better people. I mean, that's what it's all about. It should be all about. But some people don't see it that way. They think, how much money are you going to give me? What do I get for doing this? What is it? That's not what it's about. I didn't get to where I'm at by, paying people for favors. People just were there to help me and help me get better. And I mean, I believe that all has to do with karma. And I think as you get older, you realize that, the more people you help, the better your quality of life is. Better things happen to you, and in turn, the more people you help, the more people that are going to help you. And little favors, and everybody helps each other out. Makes this place a lot easier to live in. Instead of everyone fucking each other over, and but it's just. And some people they're going to totally fucking disagree with me and say, you're crazy. But I don't think I am. I think if you really think about it, it makes sense. But getting back to the, I kind of got sidetracked. It all, if you believe some people were chosen to do things or chosen to be this person or run this company or succeed at this or invent this or, like fate, it's your fate, or two people like soulmates, you were meant to be with somebody, or it's, I don't know if I believe in that. I believe more in karma, and not that, and like I said with the deja vu, that's what has me confused, is if something's already happened, then there is fate, everything's going to happen. That's going to happen no matter what. You can't do nothing about it. But to say that, I believe you get what you work for. You get what you put the time into. I believe that's, if you're lazy and you don't work and you don't want to do this or do that, then you're going to have trouble. Getting to the top. You're probably not going to get to the top. And I think that's just how it goes. But fate is a weird thing. And I think a lot of people believe in that, or like your soulmate. I don't believe that there's that one person out there for you, Because, I mean, in my life, I've thought maybe I found that person, and maybe the person's still out there. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think it is. I think people are so different, and I think the more different you are from somebody, the more attraction there is, and that's you're better off to be with someone because they have the characters that you don't have. So, there's a yin and a yang, and there's, negatives and positives. And, I mean, that makes sense to me. To be like, oh, these people were meant to be together. I don't think that. I don't agree with that. Maybe I'm wrong. And people would probably think, I am wrong about that. It's, like I said, I mean, there's so many different ways I could go with this. And like I said, I could be 100% spot on with a lot of it. I could be fucking way off. But, I mean, if you do know, you live and you learn, and that's what makes me think is karma, You learn from the situations you've been in, so therefore it doesn't happen again. Therefore, you're susceptible to good karma, so good things are going to happen because you're not going to make that same mistake and put yourself in that same situation, which makes sense, I'm about things that make sense. And about things that sometimes don't fucking make sense. I don't think the world's supposed to be 100% logical and everything's supposed to just fucking fall into place. I think we all try to do that. I try to do that. And it doesn't mean that that's how it has to be. I've talked enough on that. When I would go back to the brain and how strong the brain is and how crazy it is to I truly believe that we only use 10% of our brain, so I believe that there's people that can tap in that other dimension or that other see things differently. And I have to say, through my experiences, I believe that, psychedelics are, if you've ever done like mushrooms before, it's really weird, something like that. You eat them, and then your perception will start to change. Things start to change, and of course, it's psilocybin. It's something that you're ingesting, into your body, but once you're done, or you've had your trip or whatever, and it's over, you may realize stuff when you're tripping. And people talk about peyote or ayahuasca. It's something I've never done either, so I don't know. The Indians and tribal men in Brazil and the jungles and shit, that's what they use. This ayahuasca, they say, you go down there and you can't kick smoking cigarettes, and you go with this tribe on an excursion for a couple of days, and you take this ayahuasca, and you come back after 3 or 4 days, and you never pick up a cigarette ever again. You can just, you internalize in your mind, and you know what you're doing wrong, and you fix it. People that have heroin addictions, people that are, addicted to crack, they do the same thing. Pills, whatever, Oxycontin, painkillers. They go down there, and they eat this plant root or whatever the hell it is. They ingest it, and they go on this little spirit journey with these things, and they come back, and they're fine. They don't ever pick up the habit again. They never touch it. They're done. And I feel like with mushrooms, I mean, that's my experience doing mushrooms, and that they're all natural. They come from the ground, and I mean the things that you can do a lot of them or whatever, and see crazy things and stuff. And I don't believe that that's what they're all about. Some people for each their own. But I believe just small doses of them, just the things that you realize about yourself and things that you realize about the world and stuff, that it's just things click in your head that just never clicked before, and things that make sense. And like I said, you don't ever forget it. It's not like you're tripping out crazy on drugs and you come back and you're like, whoa, like it's not like that. It's but I believe that some people, and DMT and that kind of stuff. They say you can talk to the dead, or you see a different dimension, or you see, you can see people that have passed on, or you can like remote view, like you could be somewhere that you're not and see your friends all there having a good time and talking and everything, and you feel like you're there, but you're not really there. But you feel 100% like you were there, but it was a drug. I mean, that's something I've thought for a long time, is I think, I believe that some people can, without, any kind of drug or anything, could maybe tap into that. I think that's a possibility, like very good possibility. But just what I've noticed and what I've seen from my experience, just with mushrooms, and what I've heard and read about ayahuasca and peyote, and people are cleansing themselves and doing all this crazy shit this is what the Indians did. This isn't like Joe Schmo at fucking making meth in a trailer. This is fucking, medicine men for years and years that all these people, their whole tribes have trusted and listened to their remedies and all natural, remedies to cure people's brains and their minds and their body, and they believe 100%. I mean, this shit works. And this shit makes your brain clearer and makes you think smarter and a pure person. And, maybe, like I said, I could be fucking bonkers, batshit crazy, but if you've never done it, you'll never know. So, and I'm not saying everyone go out and fucking get a bag of mushrooms and eat them and go crazy, or go fucking eat ayahuasca in the fucking jungles of South America. But I really think that may be a way of spiritual awakening, and that kind of frees you from, what we live in every day. We, the bubble that we live in, it's of all the artificial stuff and the, this and that, and the addictions and the, even anybody can be addicted to anything. I'm addicted to fucking Facebook. I know it. I got a serious problem. I check that thing all fucking day, every fucking day. But why? There's nothing fucking important on there. It's stupid as fuck. But I want to look. I want to see what fucking this person's doing and that, what they're doing and how cool their life is, and want to make sure everybody keeps updated on my life, That's why I like this podcast, the RowdCast, more. I like doing the podcasting because, you can listen if you want, or you cannot. I'd rather speak it than fucking, about something that's important than post some stupid shit on my Facebook, But I have a serious problem with Facebook. And everybody has addictions to everything. And I think getting your mind clearer and seeing clearer and not letting it be filled with all the junk and stuff that we're broadcasted to or projected on every day helps. But like I said, I'm not telling everyone to go out and get a bag of mushrooms, but I think I've always had this theory that kind of shit, the psychedelics and stuff, even acid. Acid's chemical, so I wouldn't say it, but the things that I don't compare that to the same as DMT or mushrooms or ayahuasca or peyote, but it's still the same thing. You just, there's people that do it, then they trip out and they fucking, wig themselves out and they get lost and I don't know what they're doing. But there's also, there's times I've done it where, and these aren't things that I do all the time anymore, I'm not saying, you hand me a bag of mushrooms once in a while, I might pop a few, but, acid, that's, something I did when I was younger. But I still have had trips where I just realize stuff about myself or about my friends that, I never would have thought, or about, the world, and it just stuck with me forever. And it's definitely opened my mind. That's what I'm getting to is opening my mind and to me seeing things differently, and maybe my brain working differently than it ever did. And I don't think that made me crazy or that made me, a burnout or anything like that, which I'm not going to say that I'm not a burnout for everything I've done, but like, I feel like my mind has been enlightened, or it screens the world differently than it ever would have if I would have never done psychedelics. And that's what makes me think about the people that can see the future I mean, maybe it's all bullshit. Maybe they can't. You know, there's no such thing as a psychic that can read your palm and tell you how you're going to die, or, you know, tell you how many kids you're going to have and what you're going to do, and, you know, or a psychic that can talk to people or move things with their brain, or, you know, maybe it's all bullshit. It could be. But I do believe that there's ways of opening your brain and making it more powerful. And I believe some people are just born gifted where their brains do work better than other people's, and they're smarter, and they're, you know, they can do things differently. And, you know, that 10% turns into 25%. You know, if we only use 10% of our brains, most of us, and, you know, there's some smart motherfuckers out there, what happens if you could use 100% of your brain? And I believe in the future, they're going to find ways to make that, you know. They're going to make ways where you can use your brain differently and you can do different things, you know. I think it's inevitable. It's going to happen. There's not much we can do to stop it, you know, especially with already tinkering. I mean, like I talk about these robots and shit they're going to do with Google and the military robots put on the battlefield. You know, there was something I heard about the other day that there was this guy, like the Google glasses that came out. This guy had him. It was in France or something. He had him genetically wired into his brain or into his face. So they were like stuck on his face, and they're screwed into his skull. And he sees it's just like a computer. The internet and everything's inside his head and on the glasses. He can do it all by thinking about it. And he was in McDonald's or some kind of restaurant, and the manager told him to take them off because they're kind of a weird contraption and shit, and he didn't want him to have them in his restaurant. And he told him he can't. And they started trying to yank the fucking things off of him and ripping them out of his fucking head, you know. And I just think, I mean, that's a cyborg. Whether you believe it or not, that's a man that has machine and shit put into him. And I mean, I believe that's where we're going. And pretty soon start opening up people's skulls and tinkering with the brain and plugging wires here and there and putting chips in here and there and doing this. You know, who knows what we're going to be able to do? But I think all natural is the way to go. You know, make your brain as powerful as possible. You know, there's things out there. There's, you know, little brain training things, and you know, just by working in different fields and seeing things, and, you know, make your brain as strong as possible, because you'd be surprised of, you know, how differently you view the world and how differently you can problem solve, and you can, you know, communicate and carry on conversations, and it's really, and there's definitely, I think all natural is, there's no other way, you know, because pretty soon, like I said, they're going to be saying, hey, go into, you know, for fucking $49.99, we can do a little surgery on your head with the laser and put this chip in there, and you can, you know, you can do math better, or you can go here and for $100 we'll get a chip in there. You can access the internet through your brain, and you can send text messages through your brain. Oh, new deal through Verizon. That's what's going to happen. You think it's crazy, but it's going to fucking happen. But I believe that, like I said, all natural is the way to go, and there's definitely people, you know, I'm not saying I'm gifted or anything, but there's definitely people that know how, you know, they predict things, they know when something bad's coming, they know, you know, and I've met people who told me crazy shit, you know, that have, they you know, they knew it was going to happen, they told people about it, and then this shit happened, you know, and it does happen, and human beings, like I say all the time on these RowdCasts, we're on a fucking rock, spinning around on a 23-degree axis, flying around a blazing fireball, which is the sun. Right? We're just on a rock, and we're flying through space. And if it stops, we all go flying and die. And for some reason, we were just happen to start walking on 2 feet and talking and making wheels and making fire, and that's crazy fucking shit. I don't care who you are. If you think about that, just sit back and think about that. Think about how big the galaxy is and the universe is. It's nuts. Why are we so special? Why are we here? Why do our brains work the way they do? Why does everything happen? And that's what this is all about. And I hope that it made you think a little bit, and sorry about the technical little difficulties I had. The pup's a crazy one. He swatted the phone out of my hand and went nuts at the door. I mean, why are we so different? Why are we differently wired? Why are we here? Does everything happen for a reason? Do most of us know that, do some people know exactly how it's going to end? Can they look at you and just and see your whole life flash before their eyes and know exactly what's going to happen and how you're going to go? And, would you want to know how you're going to die? I wouldn't really want to know. So let me go when I go. Let me bite it. But I just hope this was interesting. I hope anybody, that's listening live gave you something to do. It's, like I said, if you think about everything that happens daily, and then you really think about how we got here and what the life that we live in, and, everything seems pretty normal, but if you really start thinking about it, it's not fucking normal. And just be good people. Carry on good karma, do good things, help people out, because it'll all come back. And, hopefully one day I get what I deserve, what I feel I deserve, and hopefully you do too. That's important, And maybe not. What happens if I never do get what I deserve, what I think I need, or I think I'm going to get? What if that never happens? Well, at least I knew that I did things that the best way possible, and that I was a good person, or that I believe I was a good person. And that's important to me. So, it's a win-win situation. It should be. And if you think about it, that should be important to you, But thanks everybody for listening. I know it was a weird time. What up, Hamer? Got some people in the chat room. Just bringing this sucker to a close. It's, I appreciate, like I said, doing it kind of 4 o'clock in the afternoon thing. It's a little different, but I wanted to get one in. So I appreciate you all listening and hanging with me, and the people that did respond. It's a beautiful day out today. It's been really cold down in Atlanta. For us, since I've been here, it's the coldest it's ever been. And you'd probably say boo-hoo, all people back in Ohio. You got like fucking 16 inches of snow on the ground. I miss it though, man. I miss the snow. I don't miss that much snow, but I do miss the snow. I went home for 2 weeks during Christmas, and I got my fill of snow.